Alright, okay, one more. I can't say no to you guys. Richard.
We love you.
We love you.
We just met you.
I know.
I think a game that did well with the morale system was Bioshock 2, considering that although you can choose to kill or save any of either little sisters or any of the 3 characters that you run by, it still does. It still tells you the entire story, but it just changes the ending.
They did that in 1, where it's the same thing, except I haven't played through it on the evil setting, but have you guys? Does he still get stabbed by the little sisters if you play the dark ending?
Yeah.
He does? That's weird. Why did they help?
It's the ending after though.
Either way.
Oh, it just like blow up?
Yeah, no, either way, Ash takes control, of the jack, so it's that.
Ah. Oh, okay. Oh, well, that makes sense. All right. Okay.
It's just like 3 different factions kind of trying to do it with everyone.
Yeah, the Bioshock is really good about like giving you the choices and making that like your own personal, stake in it. But it still is like we're still telling the story. They have that kind of little disconnect, and I like that.
I'd like to redirect us for a little bit. We all know Final Fantasy IV. We have the character named Rosa Farrell, the white mage, who... It's also unique in that game because we already know that Cecil and Rosa are an item beforehand, so it kind of precludes the possibility of romantic relationships.
Well, also that the rest of them are like 5.
Yeah. The point is, it's stated that she becomes a white mage for seemingly no reason but to help Cecil. Her mother suffers from the same situation. Is she merely following in her footsteps, or is this suggestive of her character? What do you think of a woman who would do something like that just to help her man?
I'd marry her.
Well, obviously, but, for storyline potential. Is she a weak character because of that?
I'm going to give my quick little input and then go to everyone else. I personally think Rosa is a fantastic character because she sticks by Cecil, or Cecil, or whatever, whatever he does, and she always has his best interests in heart. And I think that she's kind of like the moral compass, like not so much the moral compass, but the moral foundation. Where Cecil's like, well, I don't know if I should have done that, and she's just like, you shouldn't have, and you feel bad for it. That's why you're a good person.
When she's around, she gets kidnapped a lot.
Yeah. Well, Goldbiz is a... Anyway. Someone like shouted something out.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between, if she's doing it because it's, what is expected of her.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a weak character. I feel like, fully in the mold of, like, always
Oh, that's the Japanese for you.
Bill Mendes.
Don't put that on the website.
Yeah. But then, if you think about, actually having a choice and saying, this person is worth it, and, like she says, yeah, you did that, it's wrong. I'm not just going to say because you did it, it must be right, oh, beloved husband, sir. That's different. That's, saying, I'm worth it, and I'm going to follow you closely.
I have a question, though. A follow-up question. How could you say no to Cecil's pretty face? Gorgeous. It would just melt off and is pretty. He'd be shown in the hell out of that bag. Both. That armor, the Dark Knight armor is badass.
They beached him up either way in the DS version. You couldn't see his face before, then they made his...
Also because it was 3D on the DS, it was like a block.
Yeah, I did too. Dark Knight.
Yeah, well, they have it's the whole black and white thing, but alright. No, it's okay. It's okay. You're involved. You're gonna get participation grade.
Yeah.
Good one. A+.
I personally, have you seen Cecil's move? Takes a little chunk of his life, attacks everyone with this awesome way that does more damage than his usual attack. He can take on the world. Anyways.
He's a self-sacrificing badass.
Yeah. She sees him not only as a lovely person, because she's older than Cecil at that. Alright? She's probably known Cecil his entire life.
Probably.
She has always carried this love for Cecil, probably.
It's just a lot of implied stuff that we as the players don't get. Like in a more... What? Wouldn't you be? I mean, Christ, I'm arguing for this guy all the time.
He's all dark and brooding at first,
Beautiful. Anyway, no, but it's the sort of implied information that it's also the fact that it's a lot older of a game. I believe in the DS version, they make a little bit more of a backstory thing with that. Do they?
You see a scene in their childhood, yes.
Yes, and I just think that's a lot of implied knowledge that as the original game, too, we didn't get that. So, alright. You.
Can I take a quick poll?
Cecil and who said Cecil?
Cecil.
Cecil.
I said Cecil before it was cool to go against the Cecil in the Dissidia translation.
So I just call him Dark Knight guy.
I call him gorgeous.
I'm like, if you guys see Cecil, I'm just like, screw it, it's just Dark Knight guy.
Yeah, the Dark Knight guy. The cool spiky.
Yeah, I'm
Spiky.
not gonna lie, I played that game and I got to the final dungeon and I stopped because I hated it.
Samus is a jackass.
No, I didn't even get to it. Like, I
Oh, you
was in
didn't?
the dungeon and I was wondering why I was dying so much, so I looked up.
Because there are behemoths everywhere, and the boss music plays on random encounters. That shit's messed up.
No, I went into them and I think you're supposed to be like level 50. I was like level 30.
Oh well,
ran
then you
away
should
along?
have you should have grinded like a mother. These are when RPGs were hard.
I spent weekends where I did nothing but grind on that game, and I'm like, I'm level 30, and this I'm 50, screw this.
You could go to Zeramis with level 100, and he will big bang you to death. Doesn't matter, and then he'll flip you over.
And I have to admit, it was just like with the character, characters, they were interesting, but with like Cecil and Rosa, like I always thought it was like they did like love each other. You know, like she obviously very much liked him, and he knew that, but he always had that whole thing of like, you know, I'm a Dark Knight, you're a White Mage.
I'm evil.
And I don't think she like became a White Mage just because she wanted to help Cecil. Like, I'm sure that's one of her main motivators for doing it, but like...
She ran out to that desert town specifically to help him and had like heat stroke.
Yeah,
she's
like,
dedicated.
You know, that wasn't for like, because that wasn't anything...
That's love.
See what we're talking
Love is not stupid. Well, she brought bottles of water, but she drank them all.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you know, she might have, like, there's, like, her mother who was a famous White Mage, so, you know, it's probably, like, a family thing. And then on top of that, this was a country going to war, and by the looks of it, they did not discriminate between men and women, and, like, they said women have to do something to help as well with this. So, like, you know, there's all that, and it's just, like, I think as her, she's, like, you know, very passive in the way she does things. Like, you know, she just enters the White Mage, like, you know, why didn't she say, no, I didn't want to do this? She just sort of moved in to the White Mage thing. She followed Cecil to, like, this town, like, without stopping to think for herself at all. And it was very, like, passive and not caring for herself, which I find a little weird and kind of weak.
She's psychotically dedicated.
Yeah, which was a little upsetting, because, like, I have to admit, too, like, I always did see her as, like, the damsel in distress, because, like, every second I see her after, like, losing her, she's, like, freaking passed out, and, like...
Yeah.
Well,
like,
Golbez is, like, 8 feet tall, so even picking her up, she must have had a head rush.
Yeah, I'm like...
It's like the bends. It's
Yeah. I'm like, sweetheart, I think you have narcolepsy, please. You're like, you know, let's go see a doctor. You know, it's just, it's like...
heat stroke. Just throwing that out there again, heat stroke.
You know, but yeah, then there's the heat stroke, and then, you know, like, then she, like, overworks herself in another part and she faints, and then it's just like, you know, it's just like every time she does anything slightly strenuous, it's just...
What you see as a flaw, I see as excellent. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to shoot down your opinion because it's totally good.
Like, you should come for a warning label for days. I'm telling you right now.
Like, I can see, like, dedication and all that, but, like, you know, I just thought, like, you know, there's dedication, and then there's dedication, then there's just, like, you know, not caring for yourself. Like, if I'm dedicated to people, but if I'm going to be, like, you know, like, there is, like, I don't know what that limit is, but I do know there would be a limit where I would say that is, like, too much for me. Like, you know, like, I'm not going to do something that's beyond my limits for you when, you know, because...
But I love you, man. Why wouldn't you go the extra mile for me?
I would go the extra mile, but then why do I have to go the extra 2 miles? Why do I have to go the extra 3 miles? Like, how many extra miles am I allowed to give before I have to say, what, like, you know, what about me?
Well, I mean, we don't have Rosa right here. So I can't, like, ask her, like, Rosa, what do you do? What did you think when you went there?
Just something tossed around your head.
Right, okay, I'm gonna get someone from this side, someone from this side. You.
If we're going for other characters, we're also going to go the extra mile for characters. Potential love interest.
Edward's girlfriend, I agree. Anna was awesome.
I'm going after Shadow Hearts. I know we played the Shadow Hearts series 1 and 2 very well linked, but the main characters you have, you're